This is Fitz Houston, and today's monologue 2. How do you break down a monologue? Now, first of all, before we go any further, turn the tape off and go get a monologue. No, okay. So you don't have a monologue. Okay, but if you've got a monologue, take it out as I'm talking to you right now. If you don't have a monologue, hit pause, go on Google and just Google monologues and pull something out, because it's basically a formula that I have found very useful, that a lot of monologue books even talk about as well, and it helps you understand how to mark your monologue before you start memorizing it, to understand how to put the different emotions on different parts. Now, usually a good monologue has several topics and subtopics within the one monologue. Now, each one of those subtopics should not be the same emotion. So that's how you get to find out, when do I change emotions? Well, usually, for example, the first paragraph of my monologue is talking about my shopping at the mall. And at that mall, I saw an old girlfriend. Boom. Change the topic. Old girlfriend. Emotional change. So I'm going from, oh, shopping at the mall, then I ran into an old girlfriend. Now, that wasn't a pleasant experience. Old girlfriend, man, did that bring back memories. Now the old girlfriend has now taken me to another emotional place. And as long as I'm talking about the old girlfriend, those emotions that I'm giving are based on what that particular topic means to me. Oh, and then after that, guess who I ran into? I ran into my old football buddy. Oh, man, John Wilkes, man. John Wilkes. Now, emotion number 3. My old football buddy is another emotional. See, so you transition into each one of the emotions, but each time you change subjects, that new subject has its own emotional life. So when you put your monologue together, you master each topic first, and then you put them together like a puzzle. For example, when you're memorizing on a monologue, I had a monologue years ago. This monologue was 4 pages. It's actually on the site. It's actually my longest monologue to date. my first reaction, I looked at the monologue and panicked. 4 pages? When does this guy shut up? Well, I obviously had the role, so I had to finish. I had to figure out how to break this thing down and not let my mind get overwhelmed, because the first thing your mind gets, your first reaction your mind has when it sees a lot of pages that you've got to say is, oh man, look at all these words. Well, once you calm down, you say, okay, let's look at this monologue piece by piece. That's the key. Once you see the length of it, okay, this is the length of it. Okay, let me look at this first paragraph. What is this first paragraph about? Okay, so you basically, when you're looking at the first paragraph, it's sad, happy, anger. What emotions are within this first paragraph is what you assign to it. So you master, memorize, add emotion to the first paragraph. Got it? Done. Second paragraph. Now, break down the second paragraph. What emotions are needed here? What's going on? What's the topic? Is it reflecting? Is it happy, sad, rage? You break down the second paragraph as if it's a monologue all by itself. Get that down? Got it? Now, go back and do paragraph 1 and 2 together with the emotional transition between the two motions of the two. And now you got paragraph 1 and 2 memorized. Got that done. Hold it aside. Paragraph 3. Now, same process, no matter how many paragraphs you got. When I had that 4-page monologue, I had about 8, 9 paragraphs, and each one was a different topic. So that's what you do, is you master each paragraph, learn it, put the emotion to it, start from the beginning up to that point. Then you add the new paragraphs. Stop, forget about the other part for a minute, analyze that new part, memorize it, add it to the other part, and then you just step by step, getting longer and longer, till eventually, next thing you know, you've got the entire monologue. Now, once you got the entire monologue down, the monologue has got to feel like second nature to you, because it's so natural, and it doesn't feel like you're overacting, or you're forcing it, or you're stiff, or you're worried about forgetting your lines. A policy I have now, you may not be able to do this for monologues that are 2 and 3 pages. If a monologue is, say, 2 minutes long, then a game I play with myself, and you know, it's good practice. Say your monologue is 2 minutes. My game with myself is I'm going to do this monologue perfectly in every way 20 times straight. Now, if I make a mistake, say I'm on the 3rd time through and I do a flub, start completely over, back to 1. It's got to be 20 times perfectly straight, or 10 or 20. So I usually go over 20, but you know, it's whatever you got time for. The whole point is at least 10, because the more you do this monologue from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, the more those emotional and transitions are getting grained into your real emotions, and you become more and more natural, more fluid with the monologue. Next thing you know, people think you're really talking, and you're in a monologue. You just going to rehearsing your monologue, sitting on the subway or something, and people think are you talking to me? No, you were rehearsing. But it sounded so natural, they thought your monologue was really you talking to somebody. That's when you know you've mastered it, when other people think you're talking to them because it sounds so conversational. So that's the basic tips on how to break down the monologues, and also how to memorize long monologues step by step. And then once you get step by step, 10 times straight, 20 times straight, whatever number of times straight, is up to you. But that's the best way to do it. And then when you do these 10 times straight, don't just do them for lines. Say the first time you do it 10 times straight, you are doing it for lines, just to make sure you got the lines down pat. But if you got a monologue that's got some serious emotions involved, rage and tears and stuff like that, those are draining emotions. Now, if I have a monologue that has very heavy emotions, my goal may be to do that 5 times without stopping. Because what happens is 2 things. You're training yourself how to reach these emotions, and how much are they going to pull out of you, when to start building toward it. Because the hardest thing is, for example, if you're starting a monologue and you're all joyous and joyous and joyous, and then something devastates you and you have to go from joy to tears. Well, you have to prep for that before you even do the monologue. What you do is first kind of you look at the monologue and say paragraph 1, this is what I do. Paragraph 1 is joy. Paragraph 2 is reflection. Paragraph 3 is emotional pain. So you've just identified your 3 emotions. Now, without any words, just go through acting out the emotions themselves. So okay, let's say this. Let's say the first paragraph is happiness, joy, laughter. Second paragraph is pensive, very thoughtful reflection. Third paragraph is emotional pain that comes from the reflection. So I've identified the 3 emotions. This is how you put them together. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cut. Now I just experienced what the 3 emotions feel like that I'm going to be using in the monologue. So that's my prep before I do the actual monologue, because see, a monologue is a complete bomb if you can't bring the emotions you need to deliver it. So you can't wait and try to deliver the emotions when you do the monologue. You've got to do the whole different emotional prep. And a lot of times you might hear a director, casting director, if they think you didn't hit the mark, of course as audition, they're not going to tell you this. They'll just say, next. but in rehearsal, you're rehearsing and the director says, you know what, you need to go prep some more. Prep means you didn't do the emotional work before the monologue. to get to that moment. And see, this works for both scenes or monologues. You've got to emotionally prep for the scene that your character is going to go through, whether it's a monologue or a scene. You have to do that before you actually do the performance. Then when you add the dialogue, that's easy, because that's now you just speaking what goes with the emotional value or emotional content that you just went through. So that's how you put them two together. So now in other videos, I've noticed when I got to emotional pain, I said cut, but actually I have a different video. Emotional pain, in particular, tears, is one of the hardest emotions for some people to achieve. Matter of fact, some people can achieve it. Even celebrities, they'll use little tricks, put something in their eyes, put some glycerin on their face, get the eyes water, stare at something a real long time, make tears. None of that. If you don't feel the emotion, the audience is not going to buy it. Don't try to use tricks to bring tears. Use emotions to bring tears. And that's a whole nother video, because the different acting techniques have different ways. Each one, just like karate has different ways of self-defense. Bottom line is, you're still defending yourself. Well, different acting techniques have different theories on how to reach tears, but you have to find out what works for you. But that's another video, and we'll come back and talk about that a little bit later. But right now, we're talking about this end of monologues part 2. This was how to break it down, how to add your emotions, how to memorize it, and I'll be back a little bit later for monologue 3, whatever it's going to be about. I'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in to Breaking Down the Barriers. I'm Fitz Houston. So long.